Triffick.
Marcus stared intently at the view screen, his jaw set in grim determination as the vast Imperial fleet prepared to launch its invasion of the planet Eos. Although he had argued passionately against this course of action, Marcus had been overruled by these passionately loyal yet ruthless Imperial commanders. They would brook no further dissent. Eos' advanced technology and unwillingness to join had left the Imperial war machine no choice but to attempt to take the planet by brute force. He could sense this would be a difficult battle. The Eosians would fight fiercely to defend their home. As the Imperial ships powered up their weapons and began descending towards the atmosphere, he accepted there would be much violence, yet hoped still that surrender at least came quickly. "All vessels, we are commencing Operation Starfall. Prepare for planetary invasion," Admiral Verrox boomed over the comms. "Officers and crew, today we are the Emperor's judgment, his divine retribution made manifest. Our objective is clear, our duty sacred. We are the Emperor's fleet, the instrument of his divine will. Let our fury be his fury, our vengeance his vengeance. Deploy the landing forces. Let the heavens rain fire upon them. For the Emperor, for the Imperium. Maneuver into designated coordinates and stand by for my signal. Upon my command, unleash the fury of our orbital cannons upon the enemy." Marcus closed his eyes for a brief moment, regretting that it had come to this. Around him, the bridge crew worked efficiently to coordinate with the other vessels, faces stoic but betraying hints of unease. They had grown accustomed to forcing compliance from wayward human worlds, but this felt different somehow. "Captain, I'm detecting massive energy fluctuations around the planet," shouted Ensign Summers from her station. Marcus's eyes flicked around as dozens of panicked voices erupted over the Vox channels. Then his blood ran cold as the Auspex arrays lit up with dozens of massive markers, each one the size of a small moon. Marcus felt a chill run down his spine as the ominous readings flooded the tactical displays, overwhelming the sensors with countless signals. With each sensor pass, the number quickly increased. The sheer scale of the unknown contacts surpassed anything he had witnessed before, even dwarfing the mightiest fleets of the Imperium. Around the bridge, shocked gasps and muttered prayers sounded from the crew pits as they took in the unfathomable readings. Marcus tightened his grip on the arms of his command chair, his mind racing to comprehend the implications of what he was seeing. "Report!" barked Marcus, his gravelly voice slicing through the pandemonium on the bridge like a chainsword through flesh. "I need to know what fresh hell we're facing. Give me a number." The sensor officers reacted with palpable dismay, their auger arrays sketching a tableau that defied comprehension. The cold void of space, usually a predictable canvas of pinprick stars and infinite darkness, was now alive with anomalies that their mechanical or even arcane instruments struggled to decipher. Ensign Summers' youthful face was creased in concentration as she tried to make sense of the unfathomable readings. "Sir, the positions of the object seem to be uniform in their distribution and placement, and we can't yet detect their true number or nature," she finally replied, her voice tense but professional. "They appear to be everywhere. The pattern stretches on as far as our Auspex scanners can detect. Based on initial returns, we may be looking at millions, if not more," she quickly replied. "How is this possible?" Julius growled under his breath. Marcus couldn't help but share his incomprehension. In his decades of service to the Imperium, he had never witnessed a fleet deployment of such scale and coordination. The strange signatures blurred and shifted oddly on the Auspex displays, defying identification. Marcus strained to rein in the dread welling up within him. Whatever this new threat was, it could spell doom for his fleet, his crew, and potentially the entire sector. Surrounding him, the bridge officers were a whirlwind of activity, their efforts feverish as they scrambled to gather more data. Their voices echoed in the high vaulted ceilings of the bridge, taut with alarm and disarray. The unknown force dwarfed even the massed naval power of the battle fleet. Marcus steeled himself, stamping down on the panic that threatened to undermine his command. He had faced dire circumstances before, but never anything like this. He pinched the bridge of his nose in frustration. How could they have fallen into such a trap? Though caught unawares, the alien scum or heretical deviants accountable would before long discover that the Imperial Navy did not falter, even when confronting annihilation. Marcus soundlessly murmured an appeal to the God Emperor, requesting fortitude and direction through the impending ordeal. He closed his eyes briefly, steeling himself for the battle to come. While the bridge crew worked feverishly at their stations, voices taut with alarm, as data poured in about the massive alien fleet. Its size and composition were still unclear, but the organ arrays and Auspex scanners painted a daunting picture of a force that could potentially overwhelm even the mightiest battle fleet. Marcus felt the eyes of his officers on him, awaiting his command. He drew himself up, clamping down on those tendrils of dread that were again threatening to cloud his judgment. "Silence on the bridge!" Marcus bellowed, his commanding voice cutting through the din. He turned to Lieutenant Julius, his stony expression betraying none of the concern roiling within. "Persist in your efforts to glean whatever information you can about these entities, immediately. Regardless of their nature, they appear to be hesitant to engage, for which we owe our gratitude to the Emperor." Julius nodded, already poring over the torrent of data streaming in from the Auspex arrays. His fingers flew across the console as he ran calculations and projections with practiced efficiency. He continued like this for a time until he paused suddenly, then quickly turning to face Marcus. "Sir, the gravitational shear surrounding the objects matches the coordinates of our earlier readings perfectly. I believe these objects were here all along, hidden by some sort of cloaking. Technology. Our instruments were not malfunctioning and our headings were not changing on their own. We've been flying blindly through their immense gravity wells this whole time." Marcus stroked his chin thoughtfully, considering the dire implications. An entire system of hidden planetoids, surely equipped with advanced weaponry to match this stealth technology. They had lured the Imperial fleet into a trap surrounding the fleet completely and cutting off any chance of escape or retreat. For the first time in decades of bloody warfare against the Xenos and traitor, fear crept into Marcus's mind. He quickly picked up the comlink and indicated for Summers to broadcast only to command. "Lord Admiral, I suggest we adjust our course, cancel the assault and regroup." Maintaining a calm tone, despite him feeling that strange and growing feeling of dread. "We need to regroup and prepare for engagement." "You choose inaction again, Captain?" Admiral Verrox's voice crackled over the Vox, halting his next words. "We hold formation and keep advancing, ready weapons and await my command." Marcus sat down stiffly as he processed events. Though the stalwart commander had faith that the Emperor did indeed protect his servants, Marcus's experience reminded him that even divine providence could only accomplish so much against a truly cunning foe. And cunning this enemy surely was, having so skillfully lured the Imperial fleet to the cusp of certain annihilation, cutting off any chance of escape or retreat. Suddenly, a fleet-wide Vox signal screeched, and the bridge fell silent. The piercing, grating tone echoed throughout the vast expanse of the Imperial command deck, bringing all activity and chatter to an abrupt halt. Crew members froze in place, their eyes darting around questioningly. The source of the transmission was unmistakable. It originated from the planet's surface below. Apprehension seized the Imperial ranks. The haunting screech dwindled into nothingness, surrendering to an ominous hush that seemed to echo the void itself.
Alright guys, if you're liking the story so far, just put a comment down below. Apparently helps with YouTube, but let's be honest, who the fuck knows? And have a nice day. I was thinking about doing like a catchphrase, have a Triffick day, but I thought that's fucking gay.